Given the tone of the previous seasons, it seems expected that major characters will perish in the Peaky Blinders movie, which is set to provide a fitting climax to the BBC's crime series. So who are these characters who are likely to die in the film? Here's a list of some of the characters who are most likely to die in the film. To begin with, we have Oswald Mosley. Despite their reluctance to collaborate, Sam Claflin's Mosley was introduced as Tommy's antagonist in Peaky Blinders Season 5. In Peaky Blinders Season 6, Mosley's fascist party gained traction, and Mosley became more involved in Tommy's affairs, as Tommy's meeting with Jack Nelson was critical in Tommy's ability to close the opium deal with Gina's uncle. By the end of Peaky Blinders Season 6, Mosley is undeniably a more formidable foe. The Peaky Blinders film could have killed him off as a way for Tommy to eliminate him as an adversary. While many of Tommy's enemies died during Peaky Blinders, Oswald Mosley's death would be too upsetting because Oswald Mosley existed in real life and was politically influential in British national and international politics. Because the real Oswald Mosley died in 1980, having Claflin's Mosley die in the 1940s would drastically alter the course of Peaky Blinders. The crime show has previously experimented with historical facts. Peaky Blinders history places the Birmingham gang between the 1890s and the 1910s, rather than much later in the 20th century as Peaky Blinders implies. Mosley's early death in the Peaky Blinders film would be too shocking even in the fictional world of Peaky Blinders, especially if the film intends to set up Peaky Blinders spin-offs. While the death of Mosley has been ruled out, Tommy will be able to defeat him, possibly with the assistance of Winston Churchill, a former secret ally who suggested doing whatever he could to defeat Mosley. Neil Maskell. Number 2. Jack Nelson. With the exception of his willingness to meet European fascists in Peaky Blinders Season 6, Jack Nelson's proximity to both Mosley and his niece Gina Gray made him Tommy's enemy. His approval of Gina's plans to kill Arthur Shelby, Paul Anderson, solidified him as the Shelby's adversary, especially since Gina's plans backfired and resulted in the death of her husband Michael. Given Gina's affair with Mosley and Mosley's plans to make Tommy believe he was dying from tuberculoma, it's highly likely that if they weren't already all in on the plan to let Tommy Shelby kill himself, they would definitely be his enemies in the Peaky Blinders movie, possibly even as a team. Although this could make them all the more likely to die, Jack Nelson's lone death could also be an option, especially since while Nelson's resemblance to Joseph Kennedy Sr. may rule him out as Tommy's victim because the historical figure lived until 1969, it may also increase the likelihood of his death. Unlike Oswald Mosley, who was a real historical figure, Nelson was only based on JFK's father. This makes it possible for him to be killed in retaliation for what he tried to do to the Shelbys, since it wouldn't be killing a powerful person who really lived, but rather a fictional character based on a real person. Number 3. Finn Shelby. Finn, Harry Curtin, was cut off from the Shelby family in the 6th season of Peaky Blinders due to his opposition to Duke's, Conrad Khan's, entry into it, and Isaiah's, Jordan Bolger, rise through the ranks of the organization, as well as his support for Billy Grade, Emma J. Scanlon, rather than his own family when it came time for him to be punished for betraying them. This resulted from his hostility to Isaiah. Either he will return to the Shelbys in the Peaky Blinders film adaptation, or he will be absent during the events of the film to establish himself as a potential rival for Duke and Isaiah in a Peaky Blinders spin-off series. However, if Finn is brought back into the family and assists Tommy in his struggle, he could be assassinated. After all, regardless of the nature of the fight that will culminate in Peaky Blinders, a huge proportion of the show's core characters will surely die. This is related not just to the age in which the fight would occur, but also to the fact that many of Tommy's loved ones were slain as a direct result of Tommy's avarice throughout the series. Number 5. Arthur Shelby. Despite always being a central character in Peaky Blinders, Arthur's death was foreshadowed in Peaky Blinders Season 6. While it did not occur in Season 6, Arthur's struggles with substance abuse became even more prominent after being present in Peaky Blinders Season 5, and worsened upon learning of Tommy's plans to spend his final days alone, far away from his entire family. While Tommy avoided suicide by discovering that his tuberculoma was a ruse devised by Mosley, Arthur's situation is unlikely to have improved with time. In addition to his addiction, Tommy's son points a toy gun at him and imitates shooting him in Peaky Blinders Season 6, Episode 1, while a similar scene in Season 2 foreshadowed John Shelby's, Joe Cole, death. In a hail of bullets in Season 4, Arthur mimicked responding to fire at the time. In Season 6, Arthur, on the other hand, chose to imitate dying at the hands of Tommy's son, which could possibly foreshadow Arthur's death being blamed on Tommy's actions as well. Number 6. Tommy Shelby. Tommy's death has been a source of contention for as long as Peaky Blinders has existed. Not only did Peaky Blinders' earlier seasons frequently imply that Tommy and his fellow soldiers who returned from World War I were shells of their former selves, but the crime show also demonstrated how Tommy's reckless gambles to gain more power and influence for himself and the Shelby family often mirrored his lack of concern for his life, with Tommy's seizures in Season 6, his persistent cough in Season 5, and his brushes with suicide in both seasons. Death hung over him throughout the 6 seasons of Peaky Blinders. While Peaky Blinders Season 6 ended with Tommy's symbolic funeral after he decided to spare Dr. Holford, Aneurin Bernard, despite his betrayal, implying that he may have had a chance to redeem himself in the Peaky Blinders film. It's unlikely that his story will end happily with Tommy alive. Aside from all the hints of Tommy's eventual death, Tommy's presence at the end of the Peaky Blinders film could potentially overshadow Peaky Blinders spin-offs, as his presence would always remind the public of the original Peaky Blinders, rather than offer new characters a chance to tell different stories. Tommy Shelby's redemption may be possible if the Peaky Blinders film allows him to sacrifice for a better future for his constituents and his remaining family. In this scenario, despite dying, Tommy would have been able to redeem himself and distance himself from the low-life criminal he was in Peaky Blinders Season 1. Moving on, will Peaky Blinders Season 6 be the last season? To the surprise of fans, show creator Stephen Knight confirmed in January 2021 that Peaky Blinders Season 6 would be the final season, with a caveat. Rather than ending the series with a 6th season, Knight stated that it will continue in another form, later confirming to Deadline that the show will conclude with a film. COVID altered our plans, but I can say that it was always my intention to end Peaky with a film, he told the newspaper. That is exactly what will happen. Knight told fans in 2018 that they plan to do a 7th season, and possibly more, saying, "My ambition is to make it a story of a family caught between 2 wars. So I always wanted to end it with the first air raid siren in 1939. He was already excited about the possibility of a film at the time, but he didn't want to do it at the end, maybe between series. Clearly, circumstances have changed those plans, and the movie that was just announced could replace the 7th season that had been planned." Finally, when will Peaky Blinders Season 6 begin filming? Anthony Byrne, the show's director, confirmed via Instagram that Season 6 wrapped production on May 27, 2021. Filming for the season began in January 2021, with creator Stephen Knight hinting that the story will continue in another form after the show's conclusion with Season 6. Peaky is back, and he's back with a bang, he said. Following the forced production delay caused by the COVID pandemic, we find the family in grave danger, and the stakes have never been higher. We believe this will be the best series yet, and we are confident that our devoted fans will enjoy it. While the TV show will be ending, the story will continue in another form. We are very excited that filming for Peaky Blinders has begun, and so grateful to everyone for all their hard work to make it happen, said Tommy Bulfin, executive producer for the BBC. Steve's scripts for Series 6 are truly remarkable, and we are confident that fans will enjoy them. Well, that marks the end of our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.